What is going on, YouTube? It is Sunday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and me and Kyle have sent out the bat signal.
It's out there.
We are here to talk to Headliner Nation for a little bit. We got a little bit of time tonight. We figured, hey, you know what? Let's me and Kyle hop on here for a little bit and see what's going on. See what's going on with the people. See if the community is doing all right. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing fine. I'm just hanging out, chilling, relaxing, getting ready to chat about really whatever. I was going to say fantasy football, but these conversations always seem to go awry. So
yeah, we'll talk about whatever. It doesn't really matter. We're not against any type of conversation. So hopefully everybody's doing well out there. Make sure if you're just tuning in, hit the like button for us. We would like to get as many members of Headliner Nation as possible into this stream tonight to try to just get everybody together. The season is getting closer, and I know a lot of people still have a lot of doubts. However, we don't deal with doubts. We deal with positivity, and we're all about it, right? I mean, we're looking forward to having a NFL football season. Kyle, we're going to speak it into existence. It's going to happen.
We've been speaking it into an existence
for months.
Because a couple of months ago, when everyone was like, nah, B, that ain't happening, we were like,
what's happening?
It's going to.
It will happen. It will happen shortly here, and it's getting right around the corner. We're going to talk some fantasy football, talk some life, talk some whatever you want to talk about. We're looking forward to it. The chat is already popping, Kyle. Shows we have 75 viewers. Well, let's try to multiply that by like at least 10. Make sure you hit that like button, and we're going to head right into some questions and see how everybody is doing this evening. Antonio Salas says he already liked it. Well, Antonio, you, my friend, are ahead of the game.
That's how you do it.
We greatly appreciate that.
Hit that Absolutely. Like button right away. Pow,
pow. Let's see here. What about a question? Finesse God, Jasecki or Smith in PPR Dynasty, Kyle?
Are we talking about our boy Jonnu Smith?
I'm pretty sure it's Jonnu Smith of the Tennessee Titans is who he is referring to.
Okay, well then that's my pick. So I'm going with.
Cool. Way to go in depth with that one, Kyle. Kyle's going with Jonnu Smith. We did a video where we kind of touched on him it was about a month or so ago. The guy has some huge upside, some huge potential. We definitely like Jonnu Smith with the potential of him getting some extra targets here this year with no Delaney Walker. So that's who we would go right there. Bobby Roundtree, what's going on? How you doing? Hazelnut already out there in the chat. Anna's in the chat early today. That could be bad for us, Kyle, because
that's always bad.
The longer that Anna's in the chat, the more crap we get on a nightly basis. She dishes it out pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So she'll make fun of us.
If she's not dishing it out in the chat, she's dishing it out on Twitter to us in the Patreon DM group. So one way or another, I'm sure we're going to hear it tonight. Has anybody in the chat ordered the draft guide and checked it out yet? We just dropped the draft guide yesterday. It is 600 pages or so-ish of fantasy football bliss. We've heard nothing but great feedback about it. If you've gotten it and you've already looked at it, throw a thumbs up or something there in the chat so the people can see. We are definitely glad that thing is released because it's taken a lot of time.
It's so good.
Wow. It's way better than that whisper was. Mr. Kung, he wants to know Josh Jacobs, 60+ receptions, ?
Oh, 60. I would love for it to be 60. It's not going to be 60. I would be happy with 40.
I was just going to say 40, 45 would make me happy.
Yep.
That would be enough to put him in that RB1 tier where we believe he needs to be.
Even if people came to me and said Josh Jacobs is only going to get 30 receptions this year, I'd still take him in the second round. 100%. Not even... Yep. Yeah, I still think he could be a low-end RB1. So
200 to 225 carries, 35, 40 receptions. Sign me up all day for some Josh Jacobs.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. RJ Lone Man. Love the draft guide. Still reading it. Thanks. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I hope you're still reading it because I know there's no way you got done in 24 hours.
You are a speed reader. There's a question out here that says... let's see here. Tell us some of the things that are included in the draft guide. And I just so happen to have it up on my screen here, which you cannot see. Why? Because you haven't bought it. We got injury breakdowns. We have tiered ranking, coaching changes, red zone reports, matchup meters, over 300 player profiles, free agent moves, vacated targets, offensive line rankings, dynamic running back rating, the perfect draft, sleepers, busts, breakouts, depth charts, cheat sheets, handcuffs, playoff schedules, who's about to get paid, value picks. I mean, there is just a ton of information in the draft guide, and it's a beast. But you know what? It's easy to navigate. I'm hearing a lot of people saying, hey, you know what? It's pretty easy to navigate, so we need to thank Taylor Mosier, who designed all this. He is the mastermind behind the scenes. We just give him a bunch of spreadsheets, and he makes it look pretty for us. But that's kind of some of the stuff that you can see there in the draft guide. But I got a tough question for you, Kyle. Really tough.
Let's hear it.
Josh Jacobs or Joe Mixon in a full PPR?
I have Mixon a spot higher.
But you like them both.
I like them both.
Is it like choosing between your kids this year? It's like having to choose your son or daughter?
Kind of. Except this one wouldn't have nearly as much negative repercussions if I did.
If you did. Exactly right. I really think it's a win-win either way. A lot of people still want to hate on Joe Mixon. It's all over Twitter, and it's incompetence is all I can really say is what it is at this point. The guy has been on a horrible team for a long time, and now we want to not buy him as soon as his team gets better. That makes no apparent sense to me whatsoever. I like them both. Personally, I would probably lean Jacobs by a hair, but it's neck and neck like Kyle has him also. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. NetCruise72 said last year's draft guide helped him take down 4 out of his 5 leagues. That's impressive.
That's a good percentage.
That's a pretty darn... I can't do math in my head, but if I had to guess, that's somewhere between 80 and 90%. Just throwing it out there. I have no calculator. I have no idea.
Oh, man.
I always love when we get a little bit of love from my swollen taint here on the Fantasy Headliners. We appreciate the donation, my friend. It says, Kyle is a fine wine, better with age, and so tasty. That is disturbing. Coming from my swollen taint.
Thank you so much for those kind words.
Are you talking to my swollen taint right now? Because that's weird.
Whispering to it.
Whispering to it. That's even worse. Rod Gingrich. Thoughts on Alexander Madison this year?
I think if you draft Dalvin Cook, you got to take Alexander Madison late. And it's been in several places that we've talked about it. The differences between this year and really any other year. And a lot of people love to try and draft handcuffs. Some people don't. This year, I think it's imperative that you draft handcuffs for your top backs.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just a different type of year, right? A lot of times you don't want to waste a roster spot on a handcuff that you may never use. But in a time kind of like we're going through right now, it may not be the worst possible scenario to take some of those guys. Alexander Madison being one of them. I'd say he's right up there just behind the likes of, Latavius Murray and Kareem Hunt and some of the other top handcuffs. Alexander Madison's going to be there because they're still going to run the ball quite a bit in Minnesota. Do you expect less from Marlon Mack this year? Brent Harrison.
A lot.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
A lot.
The dude's going to touch the ball the first 4 weeks of the season, and as long as Jonathan Taylor is healthy, he's taking that job altogether, and Taylor's going to be a beast.
Mm-hmm.
That's all really depending on health. I mean, as long as Taylor stays healthy, it's going to be his job, and it's going to be his job pretty quick. Let's see here. What else do we got? Handcuffs always make fantasy more exciting, from David Hathaway. It's got a hidden meaning to it. All right. Let's see what else. Michael Golembeski says late. He's going early in most leagues, Madison. Oh, he's talking about Madison's a monster back with an injury-prone back ahead of him. I got to stop real quick right there. Because we kind of just talked about this in an Understanding Injuries video that I did with Dr. Ethan Turner. And I'll get your opinion here, Kyle, with Alexander Madison and a lot of people calling Dalvin Cook injury-prone. So he tore his ACL. Bad luck right there. A part of the recovery of reconstructing an ACL is grafting part of the hamstring in the leg. What happened with Dalvin Cook after he came back from his ACL tear? Well, he had hamstring issues. That's because he was not 100%. We saw it last season, and yes, I know he missed a couple games, but however, you can say that about any running back. You can't guarantee anybody's going to play 16 games. Kyle, is he injury prone, and why are you laughing?
I always love when we get an awesome comment while you're in the middle of talking because I can never hold it together.
I have a hard time finishing my sentence when you do that.
I'll come back in just a second, but Andrew Let It Flow Wolf says, as you know, I came in second in 5 of 5 of my leagues with your draft guide last year. Also, Jake is like boxed wine, reliable, always there for you, and widowed divorcees love him. Let it flow.
Wow. Andrew is the man. Andrew is actually the one who donated. I don't know if you can see it on camera. You probably can't see it on camera. I don't want to move things and mess it up. He donated the autographed Jalen Ramsey helmet that we have. And he went out and made himself a custom Let It Flow PlayStation 4 controller last year and tagged us on Twitter. That's how awesome he is. So if you want to do anything like that, take the lead from Andrew. Let it flow in your own personal life. And
appreciate the donation, Andrew.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your support. So back to Dalvin Cook. A word I've been using lately is injury profile instead of injury prone. Is his injury profile bad? Yes, it is. He's had quite a bit of injuries. Even coming out of college, we knew that there might be a chance for him to be banged up. Even like in the draft when he came out, I wasn't in love with him in the draft either because of how banged up he had been in college. I got a lot of flack that year because I had Kareem Hunt over Dalvin Cook. I still remember that. It worked out okay though. So I think he has a horrible injury profile. So I've got a video coming out this week where I talk a little bit of like early round strategy, and Dalvin Cook's name comes up in that. And because of his bad injury profile, I am starting to get more and more concerned. Had he been fully healthy all year long last year, we'd be good right now. But once again, another injury knocks him out towards the end of the season when you needed him most, and you don't really get a full season out of him again. I don't hold the ACL tear and the injuries in the second part of the year, though, because we've talked about it quite a bit. You just brought it up again. After you tear your ACL, the hamstring can be a little bit more susceptible to injury. So I'm not really holding that against him, but he has been a little bit more fragile in the past than some other running backs. So I think you just got to be careful with it. He's got the upside every single time. He's just he's risky. He's risky. You just got to know that when you pick him.
And even though Kevin Stefanski is gone, they're still going to have a heavy run scheme there in Minnesota. Don't just think they're all of a sudden going to abandon the run. They're still going to run the ball quite a bit in Minnesota.
Josh Chapman dropped us a question as well in a PPR. Keep 2, Jacobs in the 4th, Godwin in the 5th, McLaurin or Waller in the 16th. That's Jacobs and Godwin for me.
100%. Not even thinking about it. I love Terry McLaurin this year. I do. I like some Terry McLaurin, but Jacobs in the 4th and Godwin in the 5th is still crazy good value that I'm all over.
You're essentially getting 2 first or second round picks in the 4th and the 5th. So it's still really good value.
Yep, absolutely agree. Let's see what else. Matty Ice, if you draft Aaron Jones, what round do you draft A.J. Dillon? I can't really say that I would draft either, to be completely honest. I just talked about Aaron Jones in a do not draft video where between A.J. Dillon, Jamal Williams, and Aaron Jones, it could be a fantasy nightmare here in 2020. The opportunity for that backfield is going to be huge. But if Aaron Jones, which we expect to regress in touchdowns, if he loses carries also, I mean, we're just kind of dropping him down. This guy is a second-round pick for a lot of people right now, and I don't know if I'm ready to commit that, much less commit to Dillon later on, because there's no guarantee that he's going to go out there. What if it's Jamal Williams getting, it's just a big question mark. If you do it, you're not going to have to worry about it, because as long as it's a normal redraft league, you should be able to get Dillon in one of the last rounds anyway. But it's going to be a nightmare week to week trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the issue with that backfield this year. If Aaron Jones falls to like the 4th round for some reason, he's not. But if he does, at that point, then yeah, I'm willing to take, a gamble on him. But he's going like early 2nd round right now, which is a little too early for me. But it's going to be just completely dividing up that game plan. I mean, Aaron Jones is still going to be the starting running back. He's probably still going to get a majority of the workload, but Jamal Williams is going to come in and relieve him. He's going to get a little work in the passing game. He's going to get a little bit of work on the ground, and then Dillon's going to get a lot of short yardage situations, goal line situations, things of that nature. If the Packers are going to be up by quite a bit, if they're in a game that they're winning easily, probably see a little bit more A.J. Dillon than you do at Aaron Jones at that point, or Jamal Williams. So that's why I understand why you're saying if I draft Aaron Jones, when should I draft A.J. Dillon? But if you're drafting Aaron Jones, just know going into it, you're going to have issues every single week, and you don't know who the handcuff is, so get somebody else. I'd rather draft like a James White a little bit early and have a guy like that as my running back 3 than waste a bench spot on a guy that might not even be the true backup.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I see our boy Zev Englander out there. Zev, what's going on? And here's another tough one for you, Kyle.
All right.
And I'm throwing them at you because if you ask me the question, then it's tough for me. So it's not that tough for me because I get to listen to your response first. But Austin Eckler or Miles Sanders in a full PPR?
This isn't tough.
I mean, maybe it's not for us,
but
for a lot of people,
it's Austin Eckler 100% for me.
And this is for Elite Mavs Fan 3. And me and Kyle are we kind of alone on the Eckler bandwagon? I feel like there's not a whole lot of people that love Eckler with us.
I think it's either you love him or you hate him. I don't think there's really kind of anybody that's in between right now. When I see a lot of comments on him, there are a lot of people that are like, yeah, I like Eckler this year. But a lot of people are just trying to stay away because they don't think Eckler is going to be in a whole lot of information coming up soon. So I don't want to give too much of it away. But I will say this, just a quick plug here. So Jake and I were having a conversation last night, actually. Little pillow talk.
We were bro talking.
We were talking last night because I was going through my dynamic running back rating, which if you buy the draft guide, I break it all down, and I'm actually going to do a video this week that has just a snippet of information in it. I'm not giving away everything. Okay. I'm not taking it all off. I'm just going to, pull up this side of the shirt a little bit so you can see, one side.
Like half nip? You're going to go half nip on him, Kyle?
You're going to go half nip on you. But I was telling him, I said, the dynamic running back rating for me, I said, it's really gratifying to know that the process actually works, because I went back to a video I did last year about it, and Aaron Jones was included in it. And I called the massive breakout based on what the information from the dynamic running back rating showed. Austin Eckler's kind of the same way. His dynamic stats are off the charts. They're better than what Aaron Jones were 2 years ago too. And that info showed me that Aaron Jones was in for a huge year. So Austin Eckler, for me, is almost basically locked in as a running back 1. The only reason I think people are staying away from him right now is because they're still scared of Tyrod Taylor. That is what I feel the main reason is right now.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of it stems from Tyrod Taylor. And if it's not that, it's that they don't believe in Justin Herbert, whether he takes over at some point or not either. But Austin Eckler has just proven it, and it doesn't matter who the quarterback was. He is capable of a solid role on the ground, and we already know what he can do in the passing game. The stats that Kyle's about to show you guys here, later in the week, and kind of give you that snippet. It's enough for both of us to have Chubb over. So for us, it's Austin Eckler. J.E.G., are we worried about Clyde Edwards-Helaire pass protection ability? Not really. Not a whole lot. That's not what I'm worried about there, to be completely honest. I love Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and if you watched our live draft when he got drafted, I mean, I was excited. I was fist pumping and head banging. My hair was flowing. I mean, it was just going off. I was excited. Don't worry about it, Kyle. Don't question it, Kyle. I was excited, but I was NFL excited. I wasn't quite so 2020 fantasy football excited, because I think he's going to absolutely kill it with the Chiefs. I just don't know if he's going to absolutely kill it for the first 4 or 5 weeks, and you have to draft him in the second round. That, to me, is too early, and I expect in such a crazy offseason like we have that Damian Williams is still going to be somewhat involved the first few weeks. Yes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire will take over that backfield by midseason, and that's why in a video recently I said make your draft strategy. Let somebody else pay that hefty price for Clyde Edwards-Helaire on draft day. He comes out there and struggles the first couple weeks. You swoop in, make a solid offer, because the second half schedule for Clyde Edwards-Helaire is money. Sign me up for it, and that hefty workload, that's when I'll buy Clyde Edwards-Helaire right around week 6, 5 or 6.
Yep. Dornage Davis says, does the draft guide follow our live draft? So no, it's not. It's not like that. You don't plug information into it and it spits it back out to you or anything like that. But there are tons of cheat sheets and stuff with it. So you can print off our rankings, cheat sheets, everything like that and keep them with you. It's electronic, so you can have it up like on the screen next to you and go through it as you're going through your draft. So there's still tons of great information in it. And then also he wants to know, keeping Zeke in the first or Jacobs in the fourth. I'm keeping Jacobs in the fourth.
I mean, the value is better. I would wonder, or I would counter ask if that is even a statement. If you know what your draft position is, because you never know. You may be able to pick Jacobs, keep the fourth, and then if you have an early pick, grab Zeke there at the beginning, and maybe you get both of them.
True.
You never know. It just all depends on what your draft position is. Let's see here. Should I avoid the Bears backfield altogether from October Scorpio? He's been a long-time viewer of us, and I'm actually going to be talking about David Montgomery in an upcoming video, and
I've already talked about Cohen in a video.
You have. It's hard because he may be one of the most talented running backs with the most amount of volume with the least amount of interest, if that makes any sense. And it's all because of last year's overhyped by crazy people saying that he was, the second coming, and then he bombed, and the Bears didn't get much better. The talent is there. The opportunity is there. It's just the game plan. Who's going to play quarterback? There's just questions in Chicago, and it's not David Montgomery's talent level, but you're getting him at a pretty good price. So I'm not totally off that bandwagon either.
We got an interesting question real quick. I might need some clarification on it.
Uh-oh.
So Workman says, why do you talk up Mixon but have him so low on the rankings on the website? He's my running back 4, so I don't know what website you're looking at. But there's nobody that has Mixon higher than I do right now. I can guarantee you that. On Fantasy Pros, I think the last time I submitted rankings, it said I had the highest ranking for him.
And I'm looking, because if you're looking at our website, the last rankings that were probably submitted were probably last year's, because nothing has been put out there for this year.
I don't think we have any rankings up right now.
The ranking, they've been pulled down, so I don't know why. I don't know where you've seen it, but yeah, we are way higher on Mixon, and we have the videos that come out for our running back rankings. Kyle just did his top 100, and you could see how high he was there also.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're looking at the wrong website. Let me know what website you're looking at. We don't have any more on ours, so but anywhere I know where the rankings are at, even in the draft guide that we just dropped, he's my running back 4.
Golden Devils, big fan from Morocco, Africa.
Oh, what's up?
That's what I'm talking about. We worldwide, Kyle. We're going around the globe.
Prestige worldwide. Should I start singing it? Boats and... No, I won't.
Wow. Can't take you anywhere. Let's see. What else we got?
The CV Gun 123 says he's on lunch live from Walmart. LOL, tuning in.
Heck yeah.
On his lunch break. I love that. Thanks so much.
There's nothing better to be doing on your lunch. Turn the volume up. We'll yell to the break room and tell everybody what's up. Let us know when the volume's up. Let us know what city you're in, too, and we'll shout the city out of your Walmart. Let's see here. Oh, wow. David Hathaway. Adams can't overtake Michael Thomas with Devin Funchess in Green Bay. I'm not worried about Devin Funchess. If I had oven mitts on my desk right now, I would put them on in a way to show you how Devin Funchess' hands really are. He can't catch that well, and that's a problem in a Green Bay offense led by Aaron Rodgers, where if he doesn't have your trust or he doesn't trust you, you're not getting the ball. We saw that last year with MVS and at times with Geronimo Allison and Equanimeous St. Brown. That's why Devontae Adams and the running backs are so involved. Aaron Rodgers is a little bit of a diva, and he will not throw you the ball if he doesn't trust you, whether you're open or not.
Eric Marecki tossing out a donation. Appreciate you, Eric. Thank you so much. Jamie Molyneux. I probably messed that up. I am so sorry, Jamie. 1 keeper, Jacobs in the 3rd, Kittle in the 6th, Godwin in the 8th. This one gets a little bit more tricky for me now. I love my running backs, and Jacobs in the 3rd is good, but Godwin in the 8th is unbelievable value.
The only reason I'm going to say Jacobs in the 3rd is because if I had to guess, in your league, there's a lot of people keeping a lot of running backs. And if you don't keep a running back and you go wide receiver, you may not have the opportunity or the option to go be on draft day and draft yourself at least one solid starting running back. So if you don't keep Jacobs, you're basically saying, I'm punting the running back position, I'm going heavy wide receiver and just winging it. Personally, I got to have at least one solid running back, so I would go Jacobs, even though that's ridiculous value for Godwin.
I think it also depends, like you said in that other one earlier, where are you drafting? Because if you have an early first-round pick and you know that, I'd probably go ahead and grab Godwin. Oh, Gary Hobbs.
Kyle, it's happening, Kyle. It is happening right now.
What is?
We didn't even have to start it.
Oh, yeah.
This is how awesome the community that we have built is. And it's because of what Gary just did. We didn't ask anybody to do this.
Nope.
Gary is offering on his own to give away a draft guide on him. And then, I mean, that's just awesome. I mean, this is what it's all about, is paying it forward.
Yep.
We've had a lot of tweets this week on Twitter. I put something out earlier in the week. I felt compelled to help people out. I didn't know what it was. I felt something inside that said, hey, somebody needs some help out there. I tweeted it out, and I ended up helping a few people out. That's what this community is all about. It's not just about fantasy football. Mm-hmm. This is a community, and that is the epitome of it right there, is Gary wanted to pay it forward and give away a draft guide. So I'll pick a random winner while you answer his question, Kyle.
Yeah, Gary, really appreciate it. He says, let's give away a draft kit on me, boys. I'm doing an auction league this year. Any advice for auction draft strategy? So this is what I typically tell people about auction drafts. And there's nothing in the draft guide right now about auction in particular, although I do try to do a little bit closer to the season, try to do a couple of write-ups on different strategies just to toss things out there. So I'll still try and get to that this year. But with auction drafts, the one thing that I always do is I always budget and spend big for my running back one and my wide receiver one. Get me my studs. Okay. That's what I want. I need to have studs at both positions, guys that you can trust every single time. So get your guys, your running back one and your wide receiver one. I try to keep those two to about 40% of my total budget. That's going to be an awful lot, but you're going to probably have to do it. So even if you got to get a little bit more than that, I would say don't go towards 50%. That's getting a little too crazy. But be right in that 40 area. Go ahead and spend down on your quarterbacks. So look for really, really good values at quarterbacks. If it is a redraft league and you're not doing like a dynasty startup auction, if it's a redraft league, then take a shot at those veterans like a Ben Roethlisberger. Jake and I talked about him last night for a little bit. Like a Ben Roethlisberger is a guy that I'll go ahead and spend down on so I can use money at other positions. And then also focus your attention to, if it's half PPR or PPR, make sure that you go for those pass catching high volume players. So like a Jamison Crowder at wide receiver, Golden Tate, things like that. Look for those type of guys. And then for tight end, then I also try to spend down at tight end a little bit. So like Jonnu Smith is a perfect example this year, spending down on him, a TJ Hawkinson, guys of that nature. I know you want to go like Travis Kelce, or you want to go George Kittle or Mark Andrews. But the problem with that is then you get yourselves into some pretty massive bidding wars because a lot of other people are going to want them. So that's some there for you.
Kyle, that was a great answer. And you gave me time to pick a random winner.
Yes,
Some people are going through the chats here. The random guy we're selecting is going to be Brody Kelsey Football. It says, would really love the draft guide. So Brody, email me at the email address down below in the description, and we'll get you hooked up.
It's Superfly TNT also brought up a great point. I didn't say it. Nominate the player you want your opponents to overpay for. Yes, never nominate the players you want. Let other people do that. You throw out guys that are going to cost a ton of money that you don't have any plans on bidding on.
Great point. Awesome.
Workman says, when will you have updated rankings on the website? It was last year's, my bad. We won't start putting rankings back on the website until like in-season rankings, and those will be pulling over automatically. All of our rankings right now are in the draft guide.
Yep, and the draft guide gets updated up until week 1. So, I mean, we all know rankings change, right? I mean, we have rankings based off of June 28th right now, but they could change before the season starts. So we'll just go and continually update the draft guide here in the offseason until the regular season starts. Eric Marecki says, Dynasty 1-point PPR. Would you rather have Gurley, Connor, or Montgomery? Remember, Dynasty 1-point PPR.
Whew.
This one's tough because I think Gurley gives you the immediate value this year, but Dynasty-wise doesn't have that long-term value.
Yep.
Connor could have the long-term value, but he can't stay healthy, and there's some young talent behind him. And Montgomery hasn't proven it yet, but he's still young and has plenty of opportunity ahead of him.
Yep. It's going to be Gurley for me too, because I think he gives you the immediate return on value and will also give you the best return on your value in a trade, because I think he's going to have an excellent year. I do have him above Connor, have him above Montgomery. Montgomery is better long-term for you, but if you get yourself into a situation this year where you're not winning or you're like, okay, I've got to sell, Gurley's going to give you the best return on your investment. So that's why I'm going with him.
I like it. Like I said, it worries me, and it kind of depends on what does the rest of your roster look like. If you have a lot of other talented guys there that are still young, then yeah, I agree with Kyle. You go with a Todd Gurley. If you're staring at the face of Frank Gore and David Johnson, then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? Maybe we start looking towards David Montgomery. So to me, it kind of depends on your entire roster makeup. But as of right now, immediate return, who's still young, it's got to be Gurley.
K. Chu has asked this question about 100 times, so we'll go ahead and answer it for him. T.Y. Hilton or DK Metcalf this year, DK breakout or Hilton with Rivers now? I believe I have Metcalf above Hilton still.
Metcalf has the higher ceiling in my opinion, but I still think, in my bone of bones, I believe that T.Y. Hilton takes over the Keenan Allen type role with Phillip Rivers and could see some massive targets this year in that offense. And he's a huge value right now. He's going like the 6th, 7th round. That's ridiculous for T.Y. Hilton. And now with a quarterback that we know is going to throw the ball, who's going to have time behind an offensive line, a solid running game. I think T.Y. Hilton is safer in my opinion. But the upside, the intrigue, I'm looking for some big numbers for DK Metcalf. Just a little bit more of a risk.
We've got 2 people in the chat we got to give some shout outs to. Number 1, the man that makes the draft guide look so sexy, Taylor Mosier himself. Taylor, everyone, round of applause for Taylor, the man behind the scenes at the Fantasy Headliners that makes a lot of these things look amazing. Except
if you could just throw a thank you in the chat for Taylor. I don't think Taylor has slept much the past couple days. And if you saw my text conversations with Taylor, I talk to Taylor more than I talk to my wife. So he is the man behind the scenes and does not get enough credit.
Is she number 3 on your list then? Because you and I talk a lot.
Yeah, you and I talk quite a bit. Quite a bit.
And then also in the chat, Mac, the lone boner, Galloway.
Single winger himself is in the chat. Hit the like button
for the house.
For just one wing, everybody. Just one wing. Throw the hashtag out for just one wing.
Also, we've got 220 people watching right now. We've only got 85 likes. Let's get that to like 150. Let's go 150.
Yep. And if anybody else wants to donate draft guides to other members, by all means, that's on you. That's something about, if you guys feel the urge to, then great. What else do we have? See our boy Wendy's McNuggets. Wendy's McNuggets out there in the chat. He was conversing with us on Twitter earlier in the day.
I've got a new nickname for Wendy's McNuggets. Can we call him Doug Nugs now?
Doug's Nugs?
Dub Nugs.
Oh, Dub Nugs. I'm like, sure.
What's up, Dub Nugs?
He technically can't tell us not to call him anything. I thought you said, I'm like, who the hell is Doug? And why are you naming him?
Doug's Nugs.
Yeah, Doug's Nugs. I mean, that's kind of disrespectful. Let's see here. There it is. Joshua Ramirez throwing out just one wing. 150. Let's see here. Jacob Gregory. I think these live streams you guys do is a really great way to connect one-on-one with the Fantasy Headliners community members. And 100%. And that's what this channel has been about since day one. If you go back to all of our videos, obviously we can't get every single one. But if you scroll through the comment section, I would venture out to say, Kyle, would you say this offseason, 95% of every comment on every video gets a response from either me, Kyle, Dr. Ethan Turner, Mac. I see Lior out there too, another one of our writers. You're getting responses from as many people as we possibly can. And the reason behind that, we are not a bunch of experts trying to tell everybody what to do. We are some dudes who want to talk some football with friends in a community. You guys are the community, and that's why we'd like to involve you so much.
And you're our friends. We're all friends here.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you all a hug right now. Let me.
Oh.
Bring it in here, people. Love you guys. Love you. Love you, Headliner Nation.
Ugly dude, I'm gonna pretend that didn't even happen. Ugly dude wants to know if Tua is starting, and my answer is, Lord, I hope not.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think what could make Tua a great NFL quarterback is if they let him sit for a year. Don't rush him in too early. Let's see here.
David
Keith
wants us
Tran,
to go
what's going on, Keith?
Shirtless next time.
No, absolutely not. Anna out there telling Taylor, thank you. It looks awesome and is easy to use. I know that's something Taylor took a lot of time to do, is trying to make the navigation as easy as possible.
The CV Gun 123 says, how do I donate a draft guide? Dropped a $20 dono. So that's it right there. That's another one.
That's all you got to do. Absolutely. And I saw him leave a comment earlier. He recently joined our Patreon also and was loving the content. Patreon is just another way to get additional content. But let's give away another draft guide. Kyle, I'll let you pick this random winner this time.
You want me to pick it? Okay.
Yeah.
B. Simpson, I'm going to let you answer this question while I pick one. B. Simpson wants to know James Conner or Jonathan Taylor. Did we do that one already?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So I see it right there. That's a PPR flex. Week 1, I'm going to say Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is going to be the week 1 I'll say James Conner, but Jonathan Taylor is going to be the long-term option. I fully expect Jonathan Taylor to take over that job by week 4 to 6-ish, and I could see him easily eclipsing 200 carries here this season. James Conner, though, week 1 to start the year healthy with a possible healthy Big Ben is, my opinion, the better way to start the season. So he may be somebody that we end up selling high on around midseason. We kind of have to wait and see how that goes, but if I'm starting the season, it's James Conner. If it's long-term by end of season, Jonathan Taylor is going to be a beast as long as he can stay healthy. He could be a top 10 pick next year.
I picked a winner.
You did?
Mason Ruthier.
Hold on.
The reason I'm picking him is because someone tagged him on Twitter the other day and said him and I looked alike, like he was my son. So we're going to get a draft guide to my illegitimate love child, Mason.
Wow. What was his last name?
I might be saying it wrong. Ruthier, Routhier. Mason, so you're gonna get yourself a draft guide. If I messed up your last name, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna take a stab at it, and he can tell me which one is right. I think it's Ruthier.
Ruthier. That's kind of what I said, wasn't it?
You said Ruthier.
Ruthier. I don't know.
Ruthier or Ruthier?
Ruthier.
But Mason, email me, Mason.
Mason R. Kyle R. Oh my gosh, it's all coming together.
It's all coming together. You guys are related. Let's see here. Oh, a fantasy lover in Scotland. Suds Deluxe.
Oh,
is in Scotland.
Nice.
Do you have a kilt on? I just want to know. I don't know if that's like something we just see on TV.
Jake, gee.
I just want to know if that's something we see on TV, or is it like legit people wear those around? I just want to make sure I'm not, just guessing here. Mason
said Jake's right. And then David Hathaway said child support draft guide.
Yeah, that's how Kyle's paying it back.
Trevor says, do you guys like Hollywood Brown as a top 24 option in PPR? A video I did a couple of weeks ago broke down his path to being a top 12 wide receiver this year. So I do think top 24 is definitely within grasp for him, 100%. Can he get to wide receiver 1 status and be top 12? It's possible as well. So I like Hollywood Brown this year, especially given his current ADP.
Yeah, it's a great value, and he looks healthy. The screw's been removed from his foot, so he's out there, and he looks great. And they're going to have to kind of evolve that passing game in Baltimore a little bit. Even though the running game's still going to be dominant, the more they can improve that passing game is only going to make it even better for Lamar Jackson and those running backs.
Jacko said, who is your biggest wide receiver sleeper this year? We can't tell you that because those goods are in the draft guide.
Yeah, if we told you the biggest sleepers, then the people who bought the draft guide would have no reason for buying said draft guide.
Rob says, hey guys, Newmarket, Ontario, Canada in the house. Rob, what's going on?
What up, Rob?
You're doing well up there in the CA. David Hathaway says, Kyle and Jake's deep analysis. Oh God, I just saw what he did. This is why I shouldn't be allowed to read comments.
Yeah, you can't read comments live because you keep it going.
I just hit show on it too.
That's fine.
You got me, David. Good job.
Clint B. Deontay Johnson is greater than Hollywood Brown.
I think Hollywood Brown has a lot more upside because he might not be the main target because that's still technically Mark Andrews, but there's just so many weapons in Pittsburgh. I think they run the ball more this year than they did last year. So I'm still going, even though they run the ball an awful lot in Baltimore, I'm still going to go Hollywood Brown for upside.
Give me Deontay Johnson right there. Just jam it in there. Give it to me. Oh, Jesus. I want all the Deontay Johnson I can get this year. All that dude does is get open and catch balls. That's what he does. You can't whisper for a year and a half and then turn around and ignore me when I thrust into the computer or into the camera. You can't do that.
I found this little orange ball. I don't know what it is.
Eat it.
No.
Hit the like button if you want Kyle to eat it.
No.
Let's see here. My enemy says I want to get my hands on Johnson. I do a lot this year, as many times as I can too, in as many leagues as possible. Alejandro Pagan, thoughts on Brandon Ayuk? I am somewhat partial because I love Arizona State. I mean, that's where I'm from. But I think he's highly underrated. However, I think he's being overhyped now because I still think that Deebo Samuel comes back in time for week 1 healthy. So I don't think that he sees as much of a boost as a lot of people thought. I think he gets a little bit of one, but I don't know if he's all of a sudden somebody who's a must-own, must-have rookie wide receiver. He's somebody to watch, though, because I still think Jalen Hurd's more involved in that offense also.
Ooh, speaking of, question from the CV Gun 123. Appreciate your donation. How well do you think Jalen Hurd does if he stays healthy? We talked about Jalen Hurd a lot last offseason. He was a guy that we were keeping a close eye on.
I loved Jalen Hurd a lot. Almost unsafe amount of love. And then when he got hurt, it was a big disappointment because that kid he's kind of like an Evan Ingram, right? He's like the size of a tight end with the skills of a wide receiver, and they can put him all over. You pair him with the head coaching style of a Kyle Shanahan, who's very, very creative in his offense. Jalen Hurd could be a monster, especially in the red zone. The guy is super athletic. He can get open. He wins contested catches, and he's definitely somebody who, if he's healthy, could be a huge boost to that offense.
I also want to remind people of something, and this is going to be Jalen Hurd is going to pop up in a video before this offseason is over with. But in case anyone doesn't remember, forgot, didn't know, Jalen Hurd was the starting running back at Tennessee over Alvin Kamara. That is the type of athlete we are looking at.
And he's now a big wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He growed up a lot.
All right, I have to pull some ADP here because someone had a question on ADP.
Dustin Espinoza, appreciate your support there, man. Says, newest member of the MVP Club. Yes, he is. He just signed up. I spoke with him earlier in an email. Dustin, good to see you out there. Appreciate the support. And he says it's highly recommended. A lot of detail on Patreon. We'll do video breakdowns, audio
podcasts. Let's do the pitch. Let's get it in here real quick.
All right, here we go. We got audio podcasts, exclusive articles, video breakdowns. I mean, the audio podcasts are pretty funny because it's me, Kyle, two of our other writers, Chris and Chris. There's a mixture of us on all these, and it goes off the rails quickly. And there's a lot of fun that goes into that. But Chris Trouse tries to keep us on track the best he can, but you cannot control me and Kyle for very long. Nope. And if Chris Kennedy has had a drink or two, he's almost impossible to corral. Almost impossible. He is either our HR department and keeping us in line, or he's flying off the rails. I'm saying all this because I know he's not watching.
He's either Chris Kennedy, the HR director, or he's Big Ram.
Yeah, and he's just out there messing crap up. That's what he does. He's like an alter ego. But appreciate that, Dustin. Yeah, a lot of information exclusive out there on Patreon. If you find it on Patreon, you don't find it anywhere else. It's not like we're going to do a video on it in a week and everybody's going to know about it. No, nobody else gets that stuff.
Yeah. Also, we just messed with Chris here a second ago, but I got to give Chris Kennedy a shout out. Dude has been absolutely killing it in golf DFS. So if you're into playing some DFS right now, he is putting up a lot of golf DFS stuff, but he's also going to be doing NBA DFS when they come back. So you're going to get some NBA DFS, and then also you're going to get NFL DFS when that comes too. So Chris is so good. The numbers that he pulls, the formulas that he has, we've seen it. We don't understand it because of how in-depth it is, but the dude does an excellent job. So if you want some really good DFS stuff, it's only $20 a month, and you could make that, double it, triple it the first time that you play DFS and have it taken care of.
Was it last week that he won, like, his winnings had a comma in it? I mean, he's winning more money than I can pay him here. So hopefully he doesn't keep on winning, because then he's going to leave us.
This is true.
Let's see. I have a great idea. And first off, the CV Gun, once again, is absolutely killing it today. We greatly appreciate that support, my man. He says he's an anomaly. He's on the East Coast, but he's a 49er fan since the early 90s. Hey, you got to stay true, right? I would rather be a fan forever no matter where I live. I'm a Cardinals fan from Arizona, living in North Carolina, so I'm right there with you. You got to stay true. I could hop on a bandwagon and go somewhere else, but I'm not going to. I'm a Cardinals fan, and it hurts.
But
I have a great idea,
a 49ers fan.
Who is?
One of my coworkers.
Oh, well, there you go. I want to give away 2 draft guides, Kyle. But I have a stipulation for said draft guides.
Okay. What's the stipulation?
You have 2 ways to win. I'm going to give away 2. One of them, go like our Facebook page. If anybody likes our Facebook page, you'll be entered to win a free draft guide tonight. We'll pick somebody after the stream is over, and I'll log on to Facebook, and actually Kyle will log on to Facebook and see who liked it during the live stream, and we'll pick a random winner. Also, I will give away one if somebody goes and follows us on Instagram. Because you know what? We're starting to put a lot more stuff on Instagram. So you follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and I'll draw 2 people after the stream to give away a draft guide. How's that sound?
Love it.
Perfect. That's what I'm here for, Kyle. I've got good ideas after good ideas.
Those are the best kind of ideas. I'd rather you have good ideas than bad ideas.
Perfect. Also, though, but that doesn't just come like with nothing. There's information that actually goes on these sites that you're actually getting something for. So don't make me think you're not going to something that's not even like used. Kyle and Chris have actually been doing a live stream on Facebook Live every Wednesday night. So if you're missing out on that, go like us on Facebook. You'll get the notification for it. Right? That's what it's all about.
Oh, and here the likes are coming in already.
Perfect. I mean, go out there and get more, free content. That's what it's all about, is connecting with you guys more, evenly. We're trying to hit everybody. Not everybody uses YouTube. I know it sounds weird because I thought everybody did, but not a lot of people don't.
Uh-oh.
What?
Chris Chows in the chat. Oh.
Look at Chris Chow. I just talked about Chris Chow. Chris Chows is the dude with the panties around his microphone during our podcast. Hi, Chris. Let's see here. Randall Peck says it sucks he doesn't have either of those platforms. Don't worry, if it wasn't for the show, neither would I, Randall.
What'd he say?
That he doesn't have Facebook or Instagram. And I said if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't either. Look at this.
John wants to know, how is the virus going to affect NFL players this season? Is the season going to be cut short? I don't think so. I don't think it will be cut short. I think we're going to be playing. So, is there going to be an effect? Yes. If somebody gets it, they're done for 2 weeks. So you have to make sure, again, draft your running back handcuffs. Draft your running back handcuffs. Have a lot of good depth on your bench. I actually did a video a couple of weeks ago. If you go back after the stream is done, go to our videos on YouTube. Look for the thumbnail with Zeke on it about testing positive, because we did it when he tested positive. And I give you some breakdown in there on what to do. And the CV Gun 123 coming through once again. Here's 2 for the road. Back to work for me. CV Gun. Appreciate you, brother. He's doing a $40 dono to give away 2 more draft guides.
That is awesome. 100%. Greatly appreciate you paying it forward for 2 more now. We weren't even going to give any draft guides away tonight, but we're just giving them away left and right. So now we got 2 more to give away, care of the CV Gun 123. You want to pick one and I'll pick one, Kyle?
We can do that.
All right. We'll keep answering a few questions since we haven't answered very many of them, and then we'll come back to we'll find 2 people for that.
Workman wants to know, another question from him. How do you feel about going running back the first 3 rounds and have a Cooper Kupp as your wide receiver 1 and T.Y. Hilton as your wide receiver 2? I mean, I love the early running backs. Cooper Kupp is my wide receiver 2 or my wide receiver 1. Don't hate it. I'm not really wanting T.Y. Hilton as my wide receiver 2 though.
Well, you prefer 3?
Yeah, I prefer him as my 3.
To me, it really depends though. Like if I went running back in the first 3 rounds, and then T.Y. Hilton is my number 2, I'm okay. But that's like the only way that I think I'm okay with that.
Before we pick a winner,
yeah,
I think we're going to pick winners, but I think we need to have 200 likes. I think we need some more people to hit the like button.
Yeah, hit the like button for the CV gun. Absolutely just giving it out tonight to people. Let's see.
Connor's in the shower right now watching us.
Who is?
Connor Owen.
Connor, why are you even telling us you're in the shower? Like, how does that even work? I would tell you to send us a picture, but I don't want that picture. I'm just curious how you watch a live stream in a shower. How do you do that?
Why would you say send us a picture? Why would you even give him an option?
I don't want to see Connor.
Oh,
I want to see how the setup works.
Whew. Oh.
Yeah.
Big Rem is in the house.
Oh, good. I'm glad I talked about him earlier then, because now he can actually hear me.
As soon as we hit 200 likes, we're going to pick 2 winners. But well, I'm not going to look for a winner until we hit 200 likes. So you better be telling everybody to hit that like button.
Jacob Gregory, thoughts on this mock draft team? You ready, Kyle? I'll read it slowly.
Okay.
Running backs: Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, and Leonard Fournette. I think we're going to go thumbs up there.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receivers: Robert Woods and Calvin Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go thumbs up there.
I'm already giving him an A.
Yeah. Tight end: Jared Cook.
Okay.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Quarterback: Josh Allen.
Okay.
Still happy.
Yeah.
Defense: the Ravens defense. I think they're going to be pretty good. So I have no idea who is on your bench, but I don't know if it matters because that starting lineup is hashtag hella fire, Kyle. I love it.
It is.
I would take that in a heartbeat.
We're at 185 likes, people. 15 more likes. We're going to give away those draft guides. Got to hit that like button.
I've already picked my winner, Kyle. I've already written it down who I'm going to say.
Uh-oh. Breaking news. You ready to break it?
Break it.
Cam Newton is just signed.
Where did Cam Newton sign, Kyle?
The New England Patriots.
Yes!
Oh, man. There it is. You're hearing it on the headliners right now.
Cam Newton, now a member of the New England Patriots. Kyle, we got to tweet it out. Make a tweet, Kyle.
I feel like we need to cut this stream short so I can go make a video. I'm having a panic attack right now.
No. Everybody hit the like button so people come watch us so we can tell them about Cam Newton. He's now a member of the New England Patriots. And I somewhat kind of had a feeling. We've talked about Cam Newton before on this show, and the New England Patriots were the team that we mentioned a lot of. I went out and traded for Cam Newton in Dynasty this year, hoping that this would happen, and now it has. Cam Newton is in great shape, a former NFL MVP, kind of got, the shaft, I guess you could say, but now going to New England. Man, this isn't like fake, is it?
Nope, this is from Adam Schefter at 7:54, 2 minutes ago. Former NFL MVP Cam Newton has reached an agreement on a 1-year incentive-laden deal with the New England Patriots. League sources tell Mort Report and me. Newton will now step into the mix to try and help replace former Patriots QB Tom Brady.
Perfect.
There it is. One more like, people. One more like. Do you know how exciting that was to break news live in the middle of a show?
I know.
And
I mean, if you want to make a video after the stream is over, you can, Kyle.
You know me, though. One of my favorite things other than live streaming is making breaking news videos.
Yeah. Zev says, make the vid right now on the live stream. If we could figure out how to do that, that would be amazing so they could watch you do it. But we can't do it because we're going through Zoom and Kyle would have to change screens and everything. That'd be awesome.
Oh man. I would have to shut my camera off here and then turn it back on while this is still going.
I mean, you could always do a quick story on YouTube.
Zev said if I'm unsubscribing if Kyle says April Fools.
Hey, if Kyle is lying, I'm going to fire him live on the live stream. If this is an April Fool's
We're at
joke.
202 likes. Who is your winner?
Dr. Fantasy
that's
is going to get my free draft. That's why I picked it first. Dr. Fantasy. He's been saying it since the beginning when we gave away the first one. So Dr. Fantasy is going to get one. Email me down below.
First person to tell me that I have awesome hair gets a draft guide.
Wow.
That's where we're going to go. Waiting for it. I wish we could.
We're
going to talk about Cam Newton in just a second.
Yep.
Wait for it. It's not fake news. It's the first person that says Kyle has great hair. They're going to get a draft guide.
We're just sitting here in silence.
It's not coming. I don't know. I don't know when anyone's going to end up saying.
There it is. Hair on. How about hair on fleek?
There we go. Josh Chapman. Got it.
Josh Chapman.
There it was. First one. Fricker said my hair sucks. We're kicking him out of the Patreon group.
Fricker's all over. He's all over Twitter with us though in support, so he can stay.
I know. I'm just messing with him. So let's talk about Cam Newton a little bit now. So I'm a little bit upset because I think my James White late round strategy is going to disappear now.
100%.
But I mean, if he's healthy, he's got to be healthy. That's it. I mean, that's the thing.
Healthy.
He's got to be healthy.
I stalk people online, and not in a bad way, Kyle. I've been watching videos of Cam Newton for months now, and he has his own YouTube channel. I mean, it's a lot of just him working out and stuff like that, but the guy is in great shape. He is in probably the best shape of his life, and he's angry and motivated, and now he'll go to the Patriots. I mean, what does this do maybe for the likes of a N'Keal Harry? Julian Edelman all of a sudden becomes a little bit more intriguing. I mean, I love Cam with the Patriots. I love Cam with the Patriots a lot.
Yep, I think it's a good signing for them. Even if he doesn't start right away for some reason, I think he's really good to have there for a Stidham. Can we give away another draft guide if we get 250 likes?
What is your reasoning behind this, Kyle? You're asking me live on the show, so it's not like I can say no. So yeah, sure, Kyle. If we get 250, you can give away another one.
Okay. There you go.
What about James Dennison says he's drooling over Matt Lacoste?
They just spent 2 picks on tight ends that are more athletic than he is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Info at the Fantasy Headliners, Dr. Fantasy.
Yes. Oh, Dr. Ethan Turner's out there in the chat too. He says he thinks the injury guy has the best hair. And she's talking about himself.
No. If anything, Chris.
No. Chris looked like Teen Wolf during quarantine. Let's see. What else do we have? Steve Latham says, I am 64 and need one.
I'll keep you
in mind. At the age of 64, Steve, what is it that you need? I mean, I need a lot of things, and I'm not near there yet. I mean, I hope you're talking about a draft guide.
Matthew M says 250 likes, and I draft David Montgomery in the first round. We're not asking you to ruin your draft.
You don't have the ball. Who said that?
Matthew M.
Matthew M., you ain't got the balls to do that.
Chris Chow says James White comes back to the relevant conversation. Chris, he was already there, okay? Yeah. People were just overlooking him.
All right, Brett, and this is kind of on the spot without looking at it too much, Kyle. Brett Harrison, where do we rank Cam now?
Oh, man. I maybe slip him in as like a mid quarterback 2. I'm not going quarterback 1 yet. I can't do it right now.
I think I almost can. I can put him at like 13.
I think I'm going to be around that 15 or 16. Maybe
13, and I'm inching closer to 12. Because right now, if memory serves me right, which I am getting way old too, I think number 12 for me right now is Jimmy Garoppolo, pre-Debo injury. I think that Cam could overtake that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is he 100% healthy? That's the thing I want to see. We've seen some videos of him throwing, that's great. But again, too, he's signing a deal here in June, at the end of June. He hasn't worked out with any of these people. Whole new playbook. Yeah, he only has to overtake Stidham, so that's not that big of an issue. But it's a little too much for me to get that excited right now, I think.
I don't think you pick up Cam Newton to challenge Jarrett Stidham. The challenge is over. If they believed in Stidham, they would have left him there and drafted another quarterback. The fact they went out and got Cam, this plan had to have been in the works for a while, I have to think. I don't think this is just like all of a sudden, oh yeah, let's pick up Cam. No. Maybe I'm overly excited because it happened during the show, Kyle.
I think you might be.
I don't think I am. I think people are sleeping on Cam Newton. I think that they look at his last year or so at Carolina when he was not healthy and his shoulder was not normal and kind of just write him off. I'm not that quick. The guy is not old. It's not like he's some old quarterback who's washed up. And we've seen lots of clips of him out there throwing the ball, and he's throwing it with velocity. His shoulder looks a lot better. You kind of noticed it there at the end of his Carolina career. He kind of had like a little hiccup in his throwing arm. He was more like shot putting it as he was throwing it. The throwing motion looks a lot smoother as of late, and people will hate on Cam because he's Cam, similar to Baker Mayfield. You're always going to have the haters, but in this situation, I love it. And he goes to the Jets, I hate it. He goes to New England, and I love it.
And I don't hate Newton. I'm being cautiously optimistic at this point, because again, the biggest concern for me isn't necessarily the arm itself. It's just, is he actually fully healthy, or are we only seeing the throws he's making on camera because it's a couple of throws and then afterwards he's got to ice up because he's sore? So, that's the question. Then again, we're late into the offseason. He's got to get with the game plan. New England, they want a lot out of their players. That's a tough spotlight to step into. He has to go fill Tom Brady's shoes. Again, nothing against Cam Newton, because I've always think he's been a really good quarterback, but I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to ask of him right now. M. St. G out there says, what's good, Jake and Kyle? And what to Cam? I'm good with that. Wonder how Chris Kennedy feels. He's excited. I saw in the chat, he actually typed a minute ago and said he was feeling good about it. Draft guide for someone. So M. St. G wants to give away another draft guide right now, so we'll do that. And trivia question, guys: most catches in a Super Bowl game, and the Patriot is awesome, everyone, or Patreon is awesome, everyone, for real. M. St. G is in our MVP tier, so he's always hanging out. And M. St. G, your answer to your trivia question is James White, is it not? I think a couple of years ago he had like 13 catches or something like that out of the backfield.
Yeah, I believe so. Here, I don't know if it's going to focus or not, but that was Chris's reaction. Pats get Cam, all excited. Chris Chouse disliked his comment and booed him. That's how things go down in our group chat.
Wendy's McNugget said, should I offer Bell and Carson for Eckler in a redraft league? I already have Derrick Henry, Lat, and Tevin. Yes. 100% do it.
And we got to give away another draft guide, right?
Yes, and the winner is Syrian McCann.
Okay, you're going to have to spell that.
CIARANMCCANN. I need a draft guide. I'm Irish and living in China, and this is my second year of fantasy with all North Americans, and I want to take them down. So we're going to help out with that process. So email info@thefantasyheadliners. Make sure you send that email. Jake will hook you on up.
Got it. I'll get it sent out tonight. That's how fast. After the show is over, I'll send them out.
BRV Heavy Hitter says, will the draft guide have info on auction strategy? Typically, I try to do something every single year and do like a write-up on auction strategy. I do it a little bit closer to the season, so I'll still try to do that. But we don't put like auction, like dollars and stuff in there. But this guide is really about getting you ready for a draft, no matter what the draft is. There's over 300 player profiles. There's tons of tools. There's exclusive things in it that you're not going to find anywhere else. So it's going to get you ready for any type of draft, auction. Doesn't matter. You're going to get it.
Yeah, because, I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, yeah, the strategy and stuff is something you need to have a understanding of, but you need to know which players you want going in, and that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck is understanding every player at every position.
Zev says, Jake, add me to that group chat if I can promote you guys to 100K subs.
Add you to that. That is like, that chat right there is the team chat.
Yes.
That's for the, actually, that chat is actually for the people who produce content for the Patreon subscribers. That's the one that one went in. That one is literally only me, Kyle, Chris, and Chris. And all we do is rag on each other a lot. Where do you draft Cam now? Hopefully, you don't have to do it early. Me and Kyle are both late quarterback guys anyway, round 8-ish. However, I have a feeling this may be one of those guys who gets overhyped a lot to the point to where his ADP just skyrockets and he may not be worth it anymore. I don't do it before round 8 if it's me.
So I don't know if we're going to get to 250 likes. We're 20 away. If we don't get to 250 likes, though, anybody that purchases the guide between now and when we stop the live show, we'll pick one of you and we'll do a refund. How does that sound, Jake?
Okay.
So
you purchase it between now and the end of the stream, and we'll refund you and pick a random person.
Yes. Because I don't think we're going to get to 250 likes because there's only 248 people watching. So head over to thefantasyheadliners.com. You can get your draft guide right now, and then we'll pick one of you, and then we will take it and refund it back to you. So you get your draft guide for free.
Jacob Gregory says, you guys got any positions open? I'm trying to join the team. We have a way to apply on the website. You could always throw it in there right this second, do we? No, but doesn't mean that we won't.
Right.
Here's a question. Andrew Peterson, which second-year wide receiver is most valuable in Dynasty? Which one do you got, Kyle?
I mean, I guess I'm wondering how are we basing this off of? I mean, your DK Metcalf, your AJ Brown, like those guys are probably already going to be owned. You're not going to be able to really get them. It's going to be a tough get. A guy like Marquise Brown, you can probably still get him if you don't own him. Probably not going to be too expensive, so you can go out and get him. Or, some of those other guys like a DK Metcalf who didn't do, or not DK Metcalf, N'Keal Harry, who didn't do anything last year. He's probably the guy that you can get the most of. If you're going to do it now because somebody might get excited that they have Newton now. So.
Yeah, 100%. And Kyle, you jinxed yourself because we're going to get 250 likes because we're at 249.
Oh, okay.
Somebody for PPR Dynasty, second-year wide receiver that I don't feel is getting enough recognition right now. He's kind of being forgotten. And I understand why, but you can get him at a decent price still, and the guy is explosive as all get out. It's Mecole Hardman. I still like Mecole Hardman. I mean, we're talking about a guy who hasn't even played the wide receiver position for very long.
Terry McLaurin, too.
Terry McLaurin, too. I mean, I like these guys. And Mecole Hardman is somebody who's still going late in drafts that a lot of people just don't care about because he doesn't get huge targets last year, but he's so explosive. He doesn't need 120 targets. You get him 80 targets, and he's probably going to be a pretty decent, stash for you on your bench.
So Tony Montana sent a donation and said thoughts on Cam Newton to the Patriots. We've been talking about it for a while now, but I mean, Jake likes him, has him just outside his quarterback ones, and I'm right in the middle of QB twos right now. So both of us like the signing, think it's good for them and the players around them. Jake's just a little bit higher. I'm a little bit high. I think Cam is going to surprise people. He's playing with that chip on his shoulder that we hadn't seen in quite a while. Remember, like when the Panthers went to the Super Bowl and they were cocky with Josh Norman and they didn't have that identity. I mean, they had like that cocky identity that really helped propel them that year to surprise a lot of people. They kind of lost that, and they kind of lost the identity altogether. Cam's going to come out in a vengeance this year, and he's got weapons. He's not just going to be there by himself. He's going to have a solid defense, a decent running game, a solid offensive line, and multiple weapons at the wide receiver position to help be, fantasy relevant here in 2020. I've seen a lot of questions about letting it flow. Where are the helmets? It's hard to let it flow in the offseason because we don't get nearly as many questions as we do like in season. So
Yeah, the chat that you see right now is about as slow as it gets.
Yeah.
In season, when we have 1,000+ watching, the chat is almost impossible to read, and I do my best with the helmet. Yeah. So once it gets a little bit busier, we'll start letting it flow again. Right now, I would let it flow and have to stop, and you can't stop once you start because it stings. Right, Kyle? Let's see here.
Somebody asked about Tyreek Hill and where we're drafting him. I mean, he's like my wide receiver 3 right now. So, I mean, if you take him into the first, early second, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, he's my wide receiver 2B. He's tied with Devontae Adams. I don't mind either one of them.
And then Hunter wants to know, would you prefer an early or a late round pick in PPR? Give me an early round pick. I would love to pick. Like, my number one area to pick right now is number 2.
Yep. I mean, I've always been more of a later first round guy. I like to be kind of there towards the turn, the 10, 11, the 12s. Give myself 2 studs there at the beginning.
Oh, this reminds me, we're going to have to update the draft guide now.
Yep. Whoever's watching out there, was it you, Lior? Lior, did you write this player? Actually, we didn't write a player profile for Cam because it even says in there that we're waiting for him to sign.
Lior, you're watching right now.
Go write a player profile, Lior.
Write a player profile for Cam Newton real quick.
And Taylor, if you're still out there, we have changes to make. Let's see.
All right,
the
I need to clarify
there,
something real quick. I didn't think we were going to hit 250 likes, so I changed it and said anyone that bought a draft guide between now and the end of the show, we would pick one to get it for free. I don't want to go back on that if somebody's actually went out and already purchased one, because that's just really unfair. So I'm sorry about that, but we're gonna keep with that. So anyone that purchases between now and the end of the show, we're gonna pick one of you to get one for free.
That's right.
Lior said he's on it.
Attaboy, Lior. Let's see. Hunter Anderson, thanks, but now I'm confused as what to do. Don't be confused, Hunter. Don't over-confuse yourself.
He's confused about what?
I don't know. I'm guessing it's how to get a free draft guide. It's like Kyle just clarified. You know, we already put that out there, and people have started to buy them. So I don't want to.
No, he asked about an early or a late round pick.
Oh,
I want an early round pick because you're going to get your top running back. You're going to get one of the top running backs, and then you're going to get some really, really good value late round in the late second. Chris Kennedy was in here a little bit ago, but I don't know if he still is. He may have dipped out because he is at bar mitzvah or something like that.
Are you serious?
No, he's like
I was like, what?
Justin says, first time watching, you guys love it. Justin, hit that follow button, subscribe to the channel, become a part of Headliner Nation. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Oh, it's not quite Headliners After Dark time, Kyle.
But we are an hour in.
I know. But usually we start live streaming later.
This is true.
Wendy's McNuggets has himself a deep question.
Okay.
Real life question, Kyle. If you punch yourself and it hurts, does that mean you're really strong or really weak?
This is a good one.
That's a really good one. I'm going to say that you're really strong. Because I don't ever want to tell myself that
because
I'm weak.
Some of the strongest people in the world get punched and they still feel it. So Team 11 wants to know James Conner or David Johnson in PPR. Still think I'm going to lean David Johnson there.
Yeah, probably. Kind of have the same injury type of concerns for both of them for the most part, right? But at least David Johnson has. They turned Carlos Hyde into a 1,000-yard rusher in Houston. They can do the same with David Johnson. Been talking about Cam Newton. A lot of people asking about Cam still. Yep. We'll update the draft guide. We already just yelled at Lior to go write the player profile.
He said he's on it too.
Yeah, he's already on it. So we'll get that updated. It's intriguing, obviously, because it's the name of Cam Newton. But I think it's still going to stay right around there. I'm going to be right around 12, 13. Kyle's going to be right around 15, 16 or so. but it's definitely intriguing and it's exciting news. Heck, this time with everything going on in the world, that's some great news because it's sports related news.
Eric, yes, we've talked about Cam quite a bit already. Same thing, repeating it. I've got a mid quarterback 2. Jake's got him low end, high end, quarterback 1, quarterback 2 territory. So right around that 13-14 area right now.
Jackson Valerie, can Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and Tyler Higbee produce for fantasy purposes?
Yes.
I think they can.
But I'm betting on Robert Woods. I mean, when Brandon Cooks was there, I mean, they were all producing still. Higbee is the one I'm most concerned about, though, because obviously with Gerald Everett being healthy again, I mean, that's still a concern. He's still a pretty good tight end.
But the one positive they have going for them is the offensive line is very less than great. What's going to happen at the running back position? Cam Akers, Malcolm Brown, Darrell Henderson. They could just, lean a little bit more in the passing game.
Kevin wants to know about our expectations for Devin Singletary this year. Love him. I think they're going to use him, and he's a good running back.
Can we ask, I got a damn question. Why do people love Zach Moss? Why?
I didn't see this. Somebody was arguing with me yesterday in the YouTube comments about him, saying that he didn't have a bad injury profile. And I was like, bro, the doctor that works here with us even gave him the worst injury profile for any offensive player coming out of the draft last year. What do you mean he didn't have a bad injury profile? But that's my concerns with Zach Moss is he's, I mean, as bad as other people have been injured coming out of college, he's right up there with them. Consistently injured, always having issues. And to me, he lacks explosiveness around the corner. He's a guy that's good for goal line and short yardage situations. He's not a guy that's going to come into the NFL and be this top tier running back. I just don't see it happening.
All right, now full disclosure, Kyle. I threw my pencil when I asked that question. And it hit a button on my keyboard. And now everything is massive on my screen, and I have no idea what button got hit. So now my live stream dashboard is like the size of Egypt. I have no idea what's going on.
Well, lucky for you, I can move it, or I can change it over here if I need to, or end it, or whatever.
I can see half the chat, so I'll get half the question. But I don't know what button I hit, but apparently it was an important button, because now it's like huge mungus, and I don't want to hit something and have it cancel the stream.
Tom says because they overdrafted Singletary last year. I don't think they did. No, here's the thing. Singletary produced in college at Florida Atlantic. Absolutely massive numbers. His tape looked great. He just didn't have a great combine. That's it. People put way too much stock in the combine. It was one of the reasons why people were overlooking DK Metcalf. People didn't draft DK Metcalf last year because of a freaking 3-cone drill. Like, we gotta be better than that. We overthink things way too much in the fantasy realm, and they're like, oh, this little thing is going to completely throw off this player and we shouldn't touch him. They didn't overdraft Singletary at all. Singletary went where he should have. They probably even actually got a deal on him. Singletary is a very good running back. He's not a workhorse running back. He's not a guy that's going to get 300 touches in a season, but he's a guy that can produce on the ground, through the air, and he's got the skill set to be the RB1. So, no, they didn't overdraft him, Tom. Didn't happen.
No, not at all. Colin Ball wants a shout out. I see you out there, Colin. Art Norick. Camden, New England news broke for me on this stream. F it, I'm buying a draft guide. Y'all made my day. Not even a New England fan. Just happy for Cam. Blessings from Toronto, gents.
Wendy's McNugget says right-click and change the display settings to normal size. And Anna says try the minus key. That might fix it, unless you have a zoom key.
I have a lot of keys. This is not like a normal keyboard. I think I hit one of the F buttons. I don't know which F button I hit. Also, Alejandro Pagan wants to know Michael Pittman or T. Higgins in a half PPR.
This year or long term?
What button do I hit? There's a lot of them, people.
It's T. Higgins for me.
I can't pull it up any higher. Yeah, probably T. Higgins. I think that he's probably a little bit safer. I think Michael Pittman may turn out to be a little bit touchdown dependent in an offense that may only have Phillip Rivers for a year. So, yeah, give me Higgins as well.
Domino's wants to know how we value DK Metcalf this year. I mean, Jake and I are in agreement that we think he's going to be the guy that gets the volume in Seattle. Tyler Lockett is still going to have a lot of upside every single week. I just think his ceiling and his floor are a lot wider than what Metcalf's are.
People are telling me to hit all these buttons on my keyboard, and I'm terrified to try it. I'm scared. I mean, if I hit the wrong button, I don't know what it's going to do to the live stream.
Control and the minus button.
Yeah, but there's no way I hit two buttons when I threw a pencil either. So it's not like I hit control and plus would make it happen. I don't know. We're just going to leave it. Forget it. It's an experience.
Andrew said, why was A.J. Brown so underrated last season? Andrew, I just did a video on A.J. Brown, and I don't think he was underrated at all. In fact, I think people are being a little too crazy with his ADP right now. A lot of people think this is a guy that's going to be close to wide receiver 1 status, and I don't think he ends up getting there.
D'Anthony Green said my screen got Chubb. Yes, it did. Frickers keeps telling me to hit F11. Should I try it?
Jake, I just thought of something.
What?
Your trade for Cam Newton finally worked out.
I just said that like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I said I traded for him in our Dynasty League.
I got so excited for you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Fricker says it's F11.
All right, Fricker. Here we go. Fricker, I swear if this is wrong and the stream cuts off, I will hunt you down and you will not have a great rest of your week. Ready? Here we go. Attaboy, Fricker.
Yeah.
Fricker coming through. It was totally F11. Whatever F11 does.
That's awesome.
Fricker.
K. Chu says A.J. Brown or Terry McLaurin for the wide receiver too. I'll take Terry McLaurin this year. Yep, I just said it.
I will too. I'm going to say it with you. I'm proud to say it. Terry McLaurin. I want to say this. People, and I tweeted it yesterday, day before, whatever. People still hate Dwayne Haskins, and I don't know why. I like Dwayne Haskins this year. I like him. Do I want him to be my quarterback, one of my fantasy team? No, I don't. But if Dwayne Haskins finishes top 15 this year, I'm not going to be surprised. Is that spicy, Kyle?
No, it's not at all. I got to look at something here real quick.
Fricker coming through. That was strong, Fricker.
I want to know who D'Anthony Green is replying to when he says you, Kate.
I don't know. Who's you, Kate?
I don't know. We'll talk about it off stream later.
Okay.
Gary Hobbs throwing out a donation. Thanks so much, Gary. He says, what's the most you would pay for CMC in an auction redraft, half PPR with a $200 budget? You're going to end up, if you want to get CMC, I guarantee you're going to end up spending about $60.
Probably.
Yep. You're probably, me personally, I would stay away from CMC and I would spend on Jacobs or Mixon, maybe Zeke, Alvin Kamara. Like I'd spend on one of those guys before I would spend on Barkley and CMC, even though they're my running back 1 and running back 2. It's going to cost you a lot more money, I think.
Justin Statzer says we should have headliner shirts with the F11 on it.
That's awesome.
Taylor, are you listening? F11. Still have the just one wing. All right.
Alpha Jared BFH says nothing better than chilling out with Headliner Nation on a Sunday in the summer. I agree, man. Thanks so much for tuning in to the live show. Hinkle says he just purchased a draft guide. Congratulations, Hinkles.
Is it bad that I want to say Ingalls or Einhorn? Ingalls or Einhorn? Ingalls or Einhorn? Do you know what that's from? Wait a second.
It sounds familiar, but I don't.
No. I will throw my pencil again if you don't know about Finkel and Einhorn. Are you kidding me? First person to tell me what movie Finkel and Einhorn is from gets a free draft guide right now. Finkel and Einhorn. First person.
So I hit the like button earlier for basically saying in the middle of the live stream, let's give away a draft guide.
My channel, damn it. Come on. Greg Repa, F11 makes it small. That's going to be the saying on the back of the shirt.
Tyrone says, sorry if I missed the answer, but Kyler or Russ, so much hype around Kyler this year. Don't know if I'm overvaluing him. Well, you're going to say Kyler. I'm saying Russ, right?
I still think Russ is, I'm not taking anything away from Russ, but I got Kyler a little bit higher.
That's Ventura?
That's Ace Ventura. Who was that? Do It 420?
Huh.
Yeah, Do It 420 is the first person that I saw, so email me down below.
Okay. I've seen Ace Ventura a bunch of times too. I guess my bad.
A lot of people out there yelling, yep, Pet Detective, Ace Ventura. See, everybody but you.
It's the first one, though, not the second one, right?
Very first one. One with Dan Marino.
I was a little bit younger when the first one came out, Jake.
Wow. Awesome. Laces out. That's right, Steve. Steve B's. He even remembers, details of the movie.
John Wachowski says, do you have a hard copy draft guide? John, we don't, because they go out of, what's the word I'm thinking? I'm so frustrated right now.
Why are you so frustrated? They're old the second they're printed.
They go out of date so quickly.
Yeah.
John, it's definitely online because then we can update it consistently. Just like with the Cam Newton signing just now. If you would have purchased a draft guide and it was on the way to you, it would already be out of date. There's one thing I tell people every single year: stop spending money on hard copy draft guides because they go out of date immediately.
Yeah, and that's a problem because it doesn't help you now. It's June. And at least if you buy it in June, you know that it's going to be updated all the way up through September. So you're always going to have updated information. Plus, it's almost 600 color pages. I would have to ship that to you on a pallet. It's just not something that you could stuff in an envelope and send out. You know what I mean? It's a hefty document.
Why is Chris in the chat talking about all the things the New England Patriots have done to allegedly cheat? I'm just going to put air quotes up there because I don't want anyone in the chat getting mad.
Chris is a huge Bills fan. He was looking forward to a year of the Patriots with Jarrett Stidham. Instead, he gets Cam Newton.
Andrew asked if we're going to have an app this year. We looked into it. There were so many things that we wanted to do this year that we ended up putting that back on the end of the priority list. But the draft guide is super easy to navigate from your phone. You just go to our website, hit the member login at the bottom, save it in your phone. So as soon as you hit it, it pops up the draft guide and everything works on your phone. So there's not going to be any type of app, but you can access it super easy.
So I'm going to see if I can even open it real quick here on my phone. Has anybody seen the commercial yet that we put out for the draft guide?
Oh, it's so good.
All right. So this is what it would look like on your phone. Okay, so you'll log into your account. You'll see the draft guide, and all you do is scroll. Player profiles. It is just easy peasy to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you want. Just keep scrolling. You keep on scrolling, there's going to be more information to see.
And for the player profiles, too, like when you click on them, let's say you're going through and you're halfway through quarterbacks and you're like, man, there's a running back I want to get to. You just tap on running back and it takes you to running backs. So, it's super easy. There's also a list at the very beginning. So if you look at that list and you're like, oh, I want to get to this player, you click on the name, it takes you immediately to their player profile.
Yep, agreed.
Hunter wants to know if we can go over who won the draft guides.
So far, I have Brady Kelsey football, Mason Ruthier, the two that we haven't announced yet because I'm going to pick one Facebook like, one Instagram like. Dr. Fantasy, Josh Chapman. I don't remember how we pronounce it, but Syrian McCann, I think is how it was pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
And then Do It 420 is going to be another one. And we also have another random one, which we're going to select from anybody who bought a draft guide after 8:10 p.m. And that's when Kyle announced that. So anybody who bought one after 8 p.m. will be eligible for a free refund. We'll pick one person for that. So those are the ones so far. Don't know the names yet of the IG or Facebook one yet, though.
Someone wants me to go over wide receivers we would consider after they've drafted 3 running backs. So we got to go to the 4th round ADP here. Guys going in the 4th round right now that I'm taking shots at, there's a lot of them. Juju, Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson,
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley's in there. Going into the 5th round, Tyler Lockett's in the 5th round. Keenan Allen, 100%. Going with him. Going with Robert Woods in the 5th round. In the
DK
6th
Metcalf.
round, you've got Terry McLaurin there.
DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf is there as well. So those are all guys taking shots at there. Wait, did you just say DK Metcalf?
Yeah, I said it for the round early. Said it for a round earlier, but
he's at the end of the 5th.
Yeah.
So those
Mike Hubert, we've been talking about it for a while, my friend. I am more excited than anybody else, and I don't really know why because I'm not a Patriots fan. But
Mike Hubert wants to know. Nope, no, he doesn't. Pranav Dandu wants to know Derrick Henry or Joe Mixon in a full PPR. Going with Joe Mixon in full PPR.
Here's a good question. Hussein Rizk. We see you all over the chats. We've talked to you for a couple of years now. He says the days of drafting 3 straight running backs are over. Honestly, they're still here for me. I'll go 3 straight running backs in a heartbeat. If I can start off a draft knowing that I have 3 players that are going to get me around 60 touches a week, I'll take that all day long. Now, I'm not just going to take a running back to take a running back, but if there's 3 guys that I really like that are sitting there, I'm all about it because you can't score fantasy points if you're not touching the football.
Imagine you have a pick at the end of the 1st round right now. You could go Nick Chubb at the end of the 1st. You could go Kenyon Drake at the beginning of the 2nd. You could go, I mean, I personally wouldn't do it, but you could go Melvin Gordon at the end of the 3rd. You could go Chris Carson. You could go Le'Veon Bell, James Conner. All of those guys are there at the end of the 3rd. And then beginning of the 4th, then you go with one of those guys we just talked about. Juju, Kupp, or Allen Robinson will be there. And then you get to the end of the 5th, and then maybe Allen falls down there. Robert Woods might still be there as well. And then you can go to the start of the 6th and do a Terry McLaurin. Like, who wouldn't love that draft start? Like, that's, and you've got 3 good running backs. Whew. Ooh.
Heck yeah. Our boy Josh, intern Josh, he says Mixon or Drake. How far off is their value?
I'm going with Mixon, but I don't think it's super far off.
Not for this year.
Yeah.
I mean, long term, it's kind of a question with Drake because where does he play next year? Does he go back to Arizona or not? We kind of don't know. We know what's I know Mixon could hold out and he could leave, but I don't see that happening now that they're finally getting good. They're going to get rid of a solid running back. Without somebody behind him that is like ready to go, I don't see that happening.
Dornage Davis says, so I have the 3rd pick in a keeper. You said to keep Jacobs in the 4th and not Zeke in the 1st. Does this still hold true? Yeah, still for me, because you've got an early 1st round pick. So do you probably still get Zeke? Probably not. But it's also going to depend on who else is going to be there. If there's guys that you're like, oh man, yeah, they're definitely going to go ahead of Jacobs, then you could give it a shot. But the problem is you're giving up a 1st. So you're essentially drafting Zeke at 1.03 anyway, if you end up keeping him there. So for me, keep your 1st round pick since it's so early and you're going to get one of the first 3 studs left in your league. So I'm still keeping Jacobs. Benjamin wants to know Austin Eckler or CEH. Give me Austin Eckler every single day. Is Joe Mixon worth a 4th overall pick in an 8-team full PPR? In an 8-team, probably not. I'm probably going to hold off there and go with like an Alvin Kamara instead in a full PPR because there is potential that at the end of the 2nd round, you can still get Mixon. Who should my keeper next year be? Travis Kelce or Mike Evans? I'm going to keep Travis Kelce over Mike Evans. Dornad already answered that one. Hinkles says Drake, Eckler, Sanders, order in which you would draft first. Eckler, Drake, Sanders. Josh's value as an intern, 1 to 10, 10 being the greatest of all time.
3.
3.5.
Is that a real question? Did he ask that?
Need upside is the one that asked.
Oh. All I know is in one of our other chats, Josh sent me a picture the other day. It was a picture of him watching me on his TV and my show, and he was holding a White Claw up to my face. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Ryan Jacobs wants to know if Gurley is worth a 2nd round pick. I'd rather take him in the 3rd. I don't know if I want to take him in the 2nd right now. I think you can get better value.
3rd's probably better, and he may fall to the 3rd because a lot of people are overly paranoid about his knee.
Kyle Billingsley says, love you guys. Thank you. Love you, Kyle. Thank you.
There it was. Yeah.
The Q, is it better to draft your handcuff this year rather than take the high upside rookie with COVID most likely holding guys out? Yeah, definitely you got to get handcuffs this year.
The issue that I kind of have with that, Kyle, somewhat, and I just thought about this as you read that question. They're in the same running back room all week long. If one's going to have it, one's going to be quarantined, they're both going to be quarantined.
Possibly. That's not always 100% guaranteed. Because, I mean, they're still going to be doing social distancing in the quarterback rooms and running back rooms and stuff like that. So,
Ethan's Tech World, would you draft anyone on the Seahawks besides Russell? Yep. Lockett and DK Metcalf. I would take them both.
I'm still going to draft Chris Carson if he's healthy come draft time. So, I know Jake. Yeah. I know Jake isn't, but
well, it's based off of health though, and that's the only reason. I love Chris Carson and his ability. I just don't know if a fractured hip on a running back who lands or gets hit on his fractured hip every time he touches the ball is smart.
Part of me wants to scroll back up and just start like rapid firing these questions.
Do it.
Let it flow.
So it's like a semi-chub?
Kind of. Daniel says Kyle or Jake, 0.1 plus 1 PPR, so just full PPR. Who is more valuable, Hawkinson or Nyheim Hines? It's probably going to be Hawkinson for me. I like Hines, but adding Taylor is just going to kill his value.
Yep.
Rank Gurley, Fournette, and Gordon, just like that. Gurley, Fournette, Gordon.
Yep, you have them right in the right order already.
Neil wants to know, is it safe to pick a wide receiver if you pick number 4 in fantasy this year? It depends. I mean, if you go Michael Thomas there, it's not that big of a deal. I would rather get a running back though.
And the reason you say that though is because if you don't, by the time the picks come back around to you at the second, you may not have your choice of a stud running back.
David says, why do people have Christian McCaffrey as number 1? His bye week is 13, which is when the playoffs start. I mean, it's either 1 or 2. So, I mean, you don't skip on basically an entire season's worth of production from Christian McCaffrey just because his playoffs start week 1. And it also depends on your league too. There's no guaranteeing that your playoffs would necessarily start in week 13.
I mean, is it just me? I mean, usually the championships for a lot of people week 15 or 16.
Week 16. So,
yeah, 16 and then 15 and 14. 13 shouldn't be playoffs for a lot of people unless you have like a ridiculous amount of teams.
David Hathaway says is it absurd to think Rojo goes for 1,000 yards from scrimmage and 10 touchdowns this season? I didn't even finish it.
1,000 yards from scrimmage. No, that's not absurd. I can see him with 1,000 total yards.
10 touchdowns?
No, hell no.
Okay.
Not even close. Dude blows.
Ben wants to know our top 5 DSTs. We rank our DSTs in the draft guide. That's where all those are located. Daniel
O., are we keeping an eye on Percy Harvin situation at all?
No.
Nope.
I mean, if he signs, we'll keep an eye on it, but not until that happens.
Yeah. There's so many great wide receivers out there. He would just fall into the mix.
TM11 says Keenan Allen or Cooper Kupp. Both. You can get Kupp and Allen because of where their ADPs fall right now. Mm-hmm. If I had to choose one, I'll still go with Kupp, but I really like Allen's ADP still. It's so good. Ryan Jacobs says Galladay or Godwin. I've got Godwin at 5 and Galladay at 6 for wide receiver rankings.
Yeah, it's close. But Kenny G is definitely a top 10 option this year.
Mm-hmm.
Scott George throwing out the say no to Rojo hashtag. He knows what it's all about. Art New York, just order the draft guide. Thanks again. Awesome content. Thank you, Art. Really, really appreciate you. What is the Rojo Lightning hashtag? I've seen that a few times. What is that?
David coined it earlier, I think, because he likes Rojo this year.
David? You know better, David.
Knickerbocker says, Kyle, why is Mixon your running back 2? He's not my running back 2. He's my running back 4 right now. And it's because you'll find out when my Joe Mixon must-have video comes out, because it's going to be good.
Wow.
It's going to be hashtag Hellfire.
Here's a good question. James Dennison. What's the most people you've seen in a fantasy football league? 1,200, Kyle?
Do what?
1,200?
Yeah.
1,200. Scott Fishbowl's 1,200 teams.
Yeah.
That's now that obviously it's not all one league, but it's 112 team leagues, and they all compete in a huge tournament and play each other all year long.
Yep.
That's probably it.
It's Headliners After Dark now, I think, right?
Is it time for After Dark?
I mean, we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah. Wow. Have we really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like
all right.
it.
If you want some Headliners After Dark, is where we talk about anything, even if it's not football related. Hit the like button. Let's see if we can get it to 300, and we'll do a few minutes of Headliners After Dark.
Chris Kennedy dropping a 40 in the chat.
This is how you know he's doing really good on PGA DFS.
He wants us to give away 2 draft guides. Hunter wants to know, do you guys do your own research or is it a team? I mean, we talk about stuff as a team. Like every once in a while, we'll throw things in the chat and say, hey, what do you guys think about this? Or do you have anything good to talk about with this? But no, we do our own research. We have our own thoughts. Jake and I disagree on some players this year. I mean, you're going to see Jake talk about Amari Cooper, and you're going to see me talk about Amari Cooper, and we're going to have 2 different opinions on Amari Cooper. So. And then Fricker77 said, one more guide for someone. First to answer this, after this Reed wins, who is my favorite team?
You're going to have to tell us when it is, Fricker, because I don't know who your favorite team is.
Unless Fricker, you're going to have to keep an eye on it. You keep an eye on it and tell us who ended up winning.
But Chris, so we got 2 from Chris and 1 coming from Fricker. Should we have Chris pick the winners?
Chris, are you still out there? Can you pick the winners?
Chris, just type in there or text us.
Message us in the chat if you're still in there, and if you are, pick the winners, and then message Jake.
Let's see.
Need Upside wants... No. He wants to know if Chris is single because of the cuffed pants. Chris does very well for himself.
So we've heard. Let's see. He says, my enemy. Fricker said, my enemy wins. I don't know what the answer was. Steelers. So my enemy. Send me an email down below.
My enemy. info@thefantasyheadliners.com.
And then, Chris, you're picking your 2. This is what it's all about. Everybody paying it forward to each other, buying things for other people. It feels good to do stuff for other people. Not a lot of good news out there for a lot of people, and being able to brighten somebody's day is what it's all about.
Wendy's has asked this several times. Are hot dogs sandwiches?
No, they're not.
I don't think
but
so
they're
either.
Delicious. You don't like hot dogs?
No, I love hot dogs.
Oh, I was like,
I prefer brats.
You are not American.
But I like a good hot dog.
I like some hot dogs.
I'm going to go make one right now. I'll be back in a minute.
Wow.
Okay.
Not going to happen. Everybody's liking Chris right now. I don't know if it's because he has something free to give away or if they actually like him. Let's see. What else do we have?
Who do you think will have the best 3 years? Hunter Henry, TJ Hawkinson, Jonnu Smith, or Chris Herndon? I'm gonna go with TJ Hawkinson.
The next 3 years?
Next 3 years.
Probably.
Yeah.
Chris just sent us a message.
What do you say?
The 2 winners of Chris's draft guide are David Hathaway and TM11. David Hathaway and TM11. You are winning Chris's donated draft guides. So hit me up at the email address, info@thefantasyheadliners.com.
It's time for me to kick back.
Yeah? I'm working over here. Somebody's got to work.
Jake, you know what happens when I get talking about Mixon in the chat?
Wow.
That just happened live.
That happened. Can't even edit that one out.
Oh, man.
Awesome. Kyle with the Lions buys. Yep, so David Hathaway, TM11. Let's see.
I'm just saying Hawkinson because I hated that pick last year. I like Hawkinson. I hated the pick. but he has the best athletic profile coming out of college.
I have nothing negative to say about Hawkinson. I think the more targets he gets and a healthy Matthew Stafford only helps.
Geezy wants to know, what round am I taking a tight end? I really want to go tight end late this year, and it's Jonnu Smith. So really, I have been aiming to take my tight end all the way in round number, where is it at? Like round number 12 is where Jonnu Smith is going right now. So in that, because after the 9th round, when you get into the 10th round, you've got Noah Fant, Mike Gesicki, TJ Hawkinson, Dallas Goedert, Jonnu Smith, Jack Doyle, plenty of options back there. So I'm not taking a tight end until late this year.
Yep. Ugly dude. Coffee or tea, Kyle?
Coffee. Unless it's an Arnold Palmer.
I drink coffee all day, every day. I drink a lot of coffee.
I don't even drink coffee that often.
I drink it every day, multiple times a day. So yeah, give me coffee. Here's a K Chew question for Jake. Why? Because he already knows Kyle's answer.
That's when I did the microphone thing, because I saw that.
Oh, you like Mixon over Sanders PPR this year? I already know Kyle loves Mixon. I have Mixon over Myles Sanders, but it's only by a hair. I don't have Mixon quite as high as Kyle, but I love me some Myles Sanders. If I missed on Mixon and I got Myles Sanders later, I'm fine with that. I think he's in for a huge season. Despite the injury to the offensive line, which does hurt, the volume should still be there.
TM11, email Jake, info@thefantasyheadliners.com.
Yes. Daniel Lopez, thoughts on Hayden Hurst? I don't know if Chris Chouse is in the chat anymore, but he is huge on Hayden Hurst. And with the opportunity that he could see, so are we. Kyle talked about Hayden Hurst in a video about a month ago or so.
Jackson S., where should I draft Reggie Bonnafon and Madison this year? Man, honestly, Bonafon's probably not going to be drafted. Madison, you'll have to end up getting to him before the end of the draft because everyone's going to be trying to get the Cook handcuff. Right now, his ADP is putting him
11th, 12th, maybe
11th round, 11.04. So honestly, you probably need to draft him by the 9th round. He'll probably come off the board before his ADP.
Him. Yeah, I mean, that's really early for me. I understand why, but man, there's some solid value right there on that same time that you'd have to take him. Anna, Chris is trying to distract from the fact that he has just got fined and post a 2021 pick for cheating. Oh, he's talking about what the Patriots just got fined. Chris is a big Patriots fan. Pizza or tacos, Kyle?
Pizza. I know you're tacos.
Yeah. No, I mean I'll eat anything, but pizza's probably a little bit higher. Dr. Fantasy, either one of them. I answer both of them.
Yeah.
They both go to my phone. Kyle just eavesdrops on there and doesn't answer anybody.
About what?
Just kidding.
What do I eavesdrop on?
The email, the inboxes.
Oh, yeah. No, I respond to people every once in a while.
Yeah. Let's see. Is David Johnson going to bust or be a great value? Double
great value.
A? Great value.
Mm-hmm. What are
Who
some
does Cam Newton benefit the most,
calls?
Sony or Julian Edelman?
Who would I rather draft?
No, who benefits from the Cam signing the most, Sony or Edelman?
Edelman.
I think Edelman, yeah. I think it may hurt Sony more than anything because Cam may call his own number around the goal line.
Yep. Non-fantasy football questions. Let's do that before we get out of here.
All right, we got 9 minutes for non-fantasy football related questions. If you enjoyed yourself, make sure you hit the like button on the way out.
And don't forget, anyone that purchases a draft guide before 9 o'clock tonight, you could potentially get it for free. We're going to pick somebody who purchased it before 9 o'clock to get it for free.
That's right.
So if you're thinking about getting one anyway, perfect time to go do it.
You dang right, Kyle.
Everyone's just stopped asking questions. Have we ranked handcuffs yet? We have a section of the best handcuffs to own in the draft guide.
Yep, with reasons as to why.
Yep. Antonio wants to know flats or drums. I prefer drums. I don't
So do
mind.
I.
I'll eat either one, but I don't
What
mind.
I'll do is I'll take the drum, Kyle, pretend this is a drum, and I will dip said drum in vat of ranch. And then I will take said drum and I'll just demolish it. And I will do that over and over and over again.
Flats are you can't get as much dressing on a flat, but you can put it in your mouth and basically just suck the meat right off of it.
Yeah. GZH, Ace Ventura 1 or 2. Got to go with the original number 1.
See, I was a little bit older when 2 came out, so 2 to me is a little bit better.
Jackson S, y'all ever watch the Boondocks? No.
It's been a long time. I think I have, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of TV anymore. I haven't watched TV consistently in 4 years at least since I've started YouTube. Why? Got no time. Connor Lambert, appreciate you. He wants to know White Claw or Truly. Neither. Honestly, I can honestly say that I haven't had either. Are you laughing at Antonio?
Yes.
Antonio, you're a bad boy.
Oh, Antonio.
Antonio, bad. Yeah, no.
To John's question, tight ends. John, you know better. You know I love a good tight end.
Wow. Art Nork, how are your families doing during quarantine lockdown? I'm from Toronto but moved to Maryland a year and a half ago for work, so I'm currently in lockdown away from all of my family and friends. Well, first of all, that sucks.
Yeah,
we hate to hear something like that. I am currently working at home. The whole family has been home since middle of March. I live in North Carolina where we're not even fully open. If you're going to go in public, it's mandatory to have a mask on. So we're not really enjoying it, but we're making do. I mean, the kids are pretty... they want to get out of the house. So, but we could be going camping a lot. We're going to start going camping a lot because we can go out by ourselves, stay outdoors, and have fun.
Yeah, we're staying home too. My daughter is high risk. She's considered the high risk category for a couple of different reasons. So we have to be really, really careful with her. So, we're just hanging out here, creating content for all of you.
That's right. Costco or Sam's Club? Give me Sam's Club.
Sam's Club.
Love the hot dogs at Sam's
Club.
Oh, love
yes. They're the amazing. Best. Oh, love it.
Let's see. Why haven't we ever seen commercials for ad companies? That's a great question. I guess they're the ones just making money off of other people's ads, I'm guessing. TM11 loves us. We love you back. Who can throw a football further, Jake or Kyle? 100%.
That's me.
I can.
That's me.
No, not even
That's
close.
me.
Not even close.
I was a pitcher in college. I have a little bit of arm strength. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, that was more than a decade ago. Second of all, throwing a baseball and throwing a football is not the same thing.
It wasn't more than a decade ago. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was.
It was pretty close.
Yeah, no, it's all me. If I was warmed up, Kyle, I could probably hit about 50 yards.
I don't believe you.
Kyle, there's nothing about this that does not scream athletic ability. Nothing. Straight athleticness. And you're just laughing at
Jared
me.
wants to know if we have a favorite soccer team. I don't watch a whole lot of soccer unless it's the World Cup. I watch the World Cup. I'll get in.
Yeah, I'll watch the World Cup, but that's about it too. I don't. My daughter plays soccer on a travel team. Well, she did before all this happened. And I'll go watch that, but I don't know any of the rules even. They'll blow the whistle and stuff, and I'll be like, I don't understand what the penalty was for. Somebody wants a video challenge. David, we may be able to do a video challenge at some point. As soon as we can all travel again, maybe.
James wants to know the best sporting event we've ever been to. 2 of them rank right up there. I have a 1A and a 1B. So the first one would be 2006 when the Tigers beat the Oakland Athletics in Game 4 of the ALCS on Megliardona's walk-off home run. Picture's right up there. You can see it. It's signed by Mags, a present from my dad. My dad and I were there in the stands as fans. Can't talk. That was awesome, especially after basically they had lost every single season since I had been born. So it was good to see them win finally. And then also, I forget what year it was, but when Michigan hosted Notre Dame under the lights for the first time at the Big House, that big come from behind victory at the last second, we were also there for that. My buddy Jesse and I were there, and that was a really good time too.
Awesome. I got to go to a World Series game when the Diamondbacks played the Yankees. That was a fun time, especially because the Yankees lost. So that was awesome. And then I also went to the NFC Championship game when the Eagles played the Cardinals, the year the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl and got robbed by the Steelers. Those are probably my two highlights.
Oh, boy. Where'd it go? Who said it? Someone asked if I could strike you out.
With what, a baseball?
Yes.
Or a wiffle ball?
Baseball.
Probably not.
You say probably not?
Probably not.
All right, here we go.
Kyle, I could make contact. I'm not a baseball player. I can make contact.
Okay, just as much contact as you made in MLB The Show.
Just as much as you did. We tied after 13 innings, like 1-1. So don't even give me that. Actually, it was 0-0.
I had like 25 strikeouts.
It's a video game, Kyle.
Connor wants to know. He says, "I'll donate the cost if Jake buys a case of Claws."
So what? He wants to buy me a case of it?
It sounds like it.
Connor, did you buy the draft guide? If you bought the draft guide, if you scroll to the very bottom, there is a section to donate to buy us drinks. It's like literally a section on the draft guide. I don't know if you have it, if you got it or not, but if you did, you can go down there and you can buy us drinks. There's a drink cause, like a tip jar.
David Hathaway says, "Is that the year my Cardinals beat the Tigers in the World Series, Kyle?" Yes, it was. Yep. Fricker says that he'll strike me out in 3. I can swing it a little bit. I was recruited as a catcher and a third baseman, and then I ended up moving to the bullpen my sophomore year, and that's where I stayed. Then I hurt my arm and had to have surgery on my bicep tendon, and then I tried to go back to hitting, and by that point, I had been hurt so much I was tired of dealing with it. Fricker has asked me about what rookie MLB player I think goes off in the 60-game season. That's a tough one to answer for you right now because there could be a ton of rookies up. I mean, there's going to be no minor league baseball this year, so teams might be willing to speed up the process and bring guys up. So I really can't answer that for you right now. We're going to have to wait. Anna says, "Y'all claiming to have athletic ability, and we are still waiting to see y'all run the 40 like you said you would." I'll do it. I'll do it in July.
What's in July?
The 40-yard dash. I'll run it, and I'll film it.
No, we have to do it together.
Okay,
because then you have the issues of different stopwatches and no, we have to do a race together.
Well, I don't see myself coming to NC anytime soon.
And the last time I was in Indianapolis for the combine with you, it was snowing outside, that wasn't going to happen.
It was like a mixture of rain and snow.
We actually had something planned because we were going to have Taylor with us going to Vegas for the draft, and then that didn't happen. So I mean, it's going to happen, Anna. It's going to happen.
My enemy says, "Where did you play college?" I played at Purdue, Fort Wayne, and then I finished at Indiana Tech.
Hunter Anderson says, "I would break the sound barrier." I might. I mean, you want to know what's funny? Funny story. Ready? Tangent. Here we go. I have a 12-year-old son, an 8-year-old daughter, and then my wife, who I will not say how old she is because then she'll be mad. We were all at a park like a couple months ago, and they all had the bright idea that, "Oh, Dad, we could beat you in a race from one side of the field to the other side of the field," which if I had to guess was probably about 150 yards. Maybe a little bit more because they play football there and it was all the way fence to fence. I'm not in that great a shape, but I will not back down from a challenge from anybody for anything. So I said, fine. Now, my little girl is a soccer player and she can run for days. So my biggest question is not can I beat her out of the gate, but can I save enough in the tank to beat her long distance? I toasted my family, turned around, and high-stepped backwards to the fence. Once I get going, that's a lot of momentum, and I don't have brakes. My name's Jake, but I still ain't got no brakes. And if I can get going, you guys are in trouble.
Okay. In the chat, thumbs up if you think I win the 40. Heart emojis if you think Jake wins the 40.
Thumbs up or hearts? I get hearts. You get thumbs up.
Jake is hearts. I get thumbs up. Who wins the 40?
Where's Colin's question?
I don't see a Colin's question. Jake would beat me in a game of 21. Jake played basketball. I did not. I suck at basketball. I will immediately say that out loud.
I'm looking for it, but I don't see the question.
Do you see one? I don't see it.
I didn't see any question. Said he had a big money question, but I don't see.
Oh, 2-1, 2-2,
3-1,
2-3.
What are you talking about? I've seen a lot more hearts than thumbs up. Jake dies trying to run the 40. Matt Hines, that's my cousin. Matt, I will flip you off on live TV, on live internet.
You got a slight lead right now.
I'm telling you, it's all about momentum.
Daniel says, "Can I play against you all in fantasy this year?" Yes, we haven't announced it yet, but I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. Jake, I don't care. So we are doing viewer leagues for the first time this year. All the guys at Headliner Nation are going to be taking at least one league. So it might be against myself. It might be against Jake. It might be against Chris Kennedy. It could be against anyone here that works at the Fantasy Headliners. I might be running like 2 or 3 of them. I haven't decided yet. But we're going to be running these leagues. But they're going to be open first to Patreon members. So you got to subscribe through Patreon to be first up. If it ends up going to all of our Patreon members first and there's no other ones available, that could potentially end up happening. If it doesn't, then we'll open it up to everybody through YouTube.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, that way we'll each have an opportunity to be in a league going up against people. It'll get a lot of people in there, but like Kyle says, the Patreon members will get the first dibs. So just so you know, that's the first dibs to get into a league.
Dornage Davis tossed us a couple of bucks in the chat. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Jack says, just bought the draft guide. Can't wait to read 600 pages of Dare. What do we call them?
I call them Ogunbalawala, and I just can't figure it out.
Ogunbalawala Bing Bang. I better not be disappointed. Oh, you will not be disappointed. I promise you that.
You won't be. Absolutely. All right, Kyle. One more question for each of us.
Okay.
And then we've been on here for 2 hours. Hit the like button as we're done. We greatly appreciate it. I show 292 likes. If we could get to 300, that would be amazing. Let's see. Here's a great question. It was who asked it? It scrolled by. I know the question. Kyle, what's the best part of living in India?
I don't live in India.
K-Chu means Indiana, Kyle. Is there anything good about living in Indiana? Anything.
We have a lot of minor league sports.
Wow. He also asked the best part of North Carolina. I hate the fact that where I live, there's no major sports teams because Charlotte's about 2 hours away from where I am. Raleigh's about 45 minutes, but I'm 2.5 hours from the Smoky Mountains, and I'm 2.5 hours from the East Coast, the beaches. To me, being right in the middle of that is awesome because I can get up and go on a day trip anytime I want to and be in whatever climate or relaxation period that I can possibly get to. So to me, that's the best part. Plus, we actually have seasons out here. There's like summer, winter, spring, fall. Arizona was just summer and summer.
I hate the seasons in Indiana.
All right, Kyle, last question of the night goes to you. Who gets the last question?
Let me scroll back down here. Vince wants to know what platform. Probably Sleeper. No guarantee yet. Antonio wants to know cleanest New Balances. I don't own any New Balances. I've got these bad boys on. I got my Under Armour kicks right now. I have pants
to go with your Under Armour hoodie?
With my Under Armour hoodie.
I don't have any New Balances New Balances either. I am a huge fan. I'm talking huge fan. And I don't know the name of them. I mean, it's Adidas, those cloud foams, those slip-on shoes that you don't even have to tie, but they're tennis shoes still. Those things are like amazing. Amazing. It's like a sock. You don't have to like, I mean, it just hugs my feet and it just makes me happy. Is that okay with you, Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you think so?
Sure.
Whatever. Matt asked, what's a climate? What's really sad is Matt is a teacher and he has no idea how to spell climate. Really, Matt? Really? Climate? I'm
Climate.
Climate.
What?
What? Hinkles, will Larry Fitzgerald benefit from Hopkins being there? Not really. I don't think so. I think with Christian Kirk being there also, it's just kind of going to be hit or miss. All right, Kyle, it's been fun. It's been 2 hours. Whether you decide to go make a cam video or not is up to you at this point. I'm going to go record videos for this week. I'm looking forward to that. Another couple hours worth of work for us on what is tonight? Sunday night. Looking forward to that. But we greatly appreciate you guys hanging out with us. It's a lot of fun to go out here and talk some football, to talk some funny topics, just to have fun with the community. We look forward to it. This is kind of one of those last-minute things that me and Kyle just put together. So thank you for spending your Sunday evening with us. And for myself and for Kyle, we greatly appreciate you guys. And lastly, Hunter Anderson says right here, when do you think we'll hit 100,000 subscribers?
It'll be before the season.
I'm hoping before week 1.
Yep.
We're trying. We're doing videos almost every single day, trying to grind harder than anybody else on YouTube. And what?
K-Chew said he's getting ready to cuddle with his cat named Kyle. I need to know if that's true or not.
It's true. It's totally true. It's 100% true. Well, for K-Chew's cat Kyle and for this Kyle, for myself, we greatly appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend, even though it's almost over. And we will have videos for you once again starting tomorrow. So make sure you check them all out. Hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciate you. We'll have a good one. Talk to you later. Thanks.
Love y'all, Atlanta Nation.
Love you all. Bye.